The fairy tale of enlightenment, the mother of all fairy tales. So many stories have been told about poor enlightenment. Everyone has received it. All has been served. From the apostles of Jesus to the modern disciples, and also the so-called esoteric teachers of today. I'll start with a small parenthesis. If we take a 1.5 volt flashlight bulb and connect it to a 220 volt supply, one thing is for sure, the bulb will not turn on. It will explode in our hands or face if we are standing by. Same goes for higher voltage lights. Only the ones designed for the specific power source will illuminate. In addition, let's examine the relationship between cause and effect. One more term, the medium, is often overlooked in this universal law. The cause applies to the medium to get an effect. This is also the reason this law is known as the law of cause-medium effect. When we combine the two above points, we can uncover some fascinating conclusions. At first, that enlightenment needs a medium in order to be applied at our level. I am referring obviously to the enlightenment of the truth or the result of the enlightenment, where the enlightened individual possesses knowledge of the truth and is able to effectively communicate it to others, particularly to his inner circle of followers. I hope there are no misunderstandings, but that's how the enlightenment thing works. But what exactly happened? Or rather, how did it happen? Well, the enlightened usually claims that a power of a top level of consciousness came into contact with him and revealed the supreme secret behind creation. We are talking about a level that reaches the concept of the first principle. That means that suddenly his brain, since that is the medium, instantly created infinite new synapses, which were charged accordingly to register the information that even momentarily overwhelmed him. Even as a science fiction scenario, this doesn't hold up. In any case, the only outcome would be the deterioration of the unfortunate individual. I tried, by embellishing my script somehow, to refer to a great truth. The level of enlightenment one attains is closely related to their cognitive capacity and the purity of their emotions. There is a magnetic core that acts as a buffer between illumination and humans, ensuring that the power is adjusted accordingly to avoid harmful effects for the receiver, that is, for his brain. The amount of metamorphosis achieved by enlightenment has to do with the level of knowledge of the person, therefore, with the active synapses of his brain. There can be no light if there's no lamp at the other end of the illumination. The process is that simple. One cannot seek truth with a childish mindset. Of course, I am not necessarily referring to academic knowledge, although to a large extent it is crucial. It is the foundation on which we build the knowledge of the value of life, the knowledge of creation. The light that the modern scholar is looking for is not the one at the end of the tunnel, nor the light that everyone so easily parrots when trying to convince the naive. Enlightenment will not reveal to them the paths that creation took to manifest itself. It will reveal the initial motivation and the key to creation, which will subsequently expose the various whys. This is what ultimately brings peace to the seeker of the path of completion, who is at the same time ready to climb its hard steps. Mind you, I am not discounting academic knowledge. On the contrary, it is more than necessary. Isn't it a waste of time for someone to try to reinvent the wheel when modern science has advanced so much? The diligent scholar capitalizes on scientific breakthroughs for personal gain. The earth is round. There's no need to strain your brain for this. If someone tells you otherwise, Just ignore him, because more nonsenses will certainly follow. One may reasonably ask, to what extent should we study modern science? The answer is simpler than one might at first assume. An accomplished CEO was approached to assume leadership of another prominent company that operated in a different industry. When questioned about his likelihood of success, he responded that having a thorough understanding of one subject allows for easy comprehension of many others. When skills are evaluated correctly, they provide us with the necessary experience that, when combined with other skills, gives us a basic understanding of things. Through a mental process, we ultimately become conscious of the subject at hand. As you might understand, this requires more than a simple update. Hours of studying and comprehending the subject matter are necessary for us to truly internalize and master it. I once again emphasize that mere repetition without understanding is worthless. The current fast-moving world is lacking the in-depth knowledge it demands. When we talk about fast food, we are referring to food of lower quality. This applies to anything that is considered fast. Naturally, information doesn't disregard certain less mainstream areas of knowledge. On the contrary, it is these aspects that we must combine with the results of scientific research. This is true. The synapses in the brain do not have specific labels, indicating they will only activate upon hearing a particular keyword. Once they detect a specific vibration, they will be activated. It is this relational behavior that we should strive for. It is important to understand that enlightenment requires more than just knowledge. A clean, sentimental carrier is also required. The combination of the two will give the desired result. Just as the synapses alone cannot provide the necessary stability so that the enlightenment will not occur as a sporadic event without leaving an imprint, the sentimental world alone is not sufficient for the process we have described. The underlying message here is that the extent of enlightenment is determined by the amount of knowledge one has, not the purity of their emotions. The purity serves as a filter that enhances the relevant frequencies coming from above and directs them to be stored in the waiting synapses. There is no way for a sheep to receive enlightenment, nor a person of comparable human intelligence. So beware of self-proclaimed experts. Meditation, prayer, virtuous living are not a panacea on the path to enlightenment. Of one thing I am certain, he who shouts that is enlightened definitely has another explanation for seeing stars, and this is the way.